Conor McGregor. Now, when we first started talking about doing this, right, you know, right. When we first started talking about doing this, what I wrote down for the agenda was Conor McGregor's retirement. Is it real or is it just for the dough? So we've already pretty much, it's been exposed as being just for the dough. But I tweeted something out earlier today, and I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and then I'm gonna let you say whatever you gotta say. If you disagree, whatever it is, whatever. So I had to change the approach, right? Because, like I said, it's been exposed. It's already been, you know, it's obviously for the dough. Reportedly, according to a USA Today article I read today, basically it says that he asked for $10 million, which is the highest amount that any fighter have ever have been paid for any event. And because his rationale was that it's because he's handling part of the promotional duties. And he said he's come to a point where he realizes that he can't keep trying to be a promoter as well as a fighter because he's not paid to be that. He needs to concentrate on just being a fighter. It's really funny what a beatdown from a man named Nate Diaz will do to you. It changed your whole perspective about everything. Now, and you know what else I find extremely hypocritical? Conor has been very critical of Floyd Mayweather Jr., but don't it really sound like he's becoming him or trying to become him? So, first of all, you're fighting for peanuts if you compare it to the boxing world, because at this point, he's the closest thing to Floyd in MMA in terms of being a polarizing figure and all of that whole thing. But so he's talked about Floyd, and now, I mean, dude, you're who you are because of self-promotion. You're who you are because you promoted yourself. So now all of a sudden you got a beating, and now you don't want to promote no more. I mean, I think it's just ridiculous. I think it makes him look bad, period. It makes it seem like he's trying to weasel out of a rematch that perhaps he can't win. Because if you think about it, if he loses to Nate Diaz again, what does that do to Conor? Part of what Conor is the mystique. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Conor McGregor is doing what no other fighter has done before him, and who hasn't had the power to do it before him. Conor McGregor is trying to do the Floyd Mayweather, paid as a promoter and as a fighter, trying to break in all the cash, percentage of the hot dogs, percentage of the sodas. The problem is he's not this immortal, undefeated animal. He got beat by Nate. A lot of people didn't see it. I sure as hell didn't expect Nate to come out that strong and beat him. Conor knows the game. He knows he has to chill out. If he loses to Frankie Edgar, there's nothing left. There's nothing for him. If he loses to Nate, again, at least he can go down to 55 or 45 and you can still sell something. Conor pulling out of 200 because he only wanted to do one press conference. Brian, I got to side with the fighter on this one. All you need is one press conference. All you need is one tweet. We know what the fight is going to happen. There's not much Conor can do. He could do stuff on Fight Week. He's done the most promotion out there out of anybody. You know, every fighter complains about the money. He's the only one out there playing the game. You know, he's trying to do it all, and I really respect that about him. Can he beat Nate? Yes, but he's obviously saying he wants the most money. I think he wants more than $10 million, Brian. I think he wants more than $10 million. I think he wants to be promoter, McGregor Promotions.
I mean, I understand, and okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's wrong for wanting more money. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, this whole thing is about leverage. You ask for whatever it is you think you can get.
Right.
My issue is this is never the way he's painted himself before. Why now, after you got a beating, are you suddenly tired of doing what got you to be this popular to begin with?
Did you read the Facebook message?
The one from today.
Did you read it? Yes. You saw what he said. You saw what he said. He needed to focus. He needed to focus.
Right.
And you know, and you don't need to do a press conference in Stockton.
I mean, I understand. You know what? See, here's the thing. When you run your mouth like Conor McGregor, you take away your ability to use these types of excuses. That's what you do. We wouldn't, dude, if Floyd lost and Floyd said, I'm coming off of Instagram, I'm not doing any more social media, I need to concentrate on fighting, that's it. People would rag him to death. Oh, now you off social media. Now you don't want to do none of this. Oh, you was money Mayhem. You've taken pictures on beds full of cash at first, but now you done got beat. Now it's a different story. This is exactly what we're seeing. And and I'm not saying that there's not any validity to that approach. What I'm saying is the timing of it for a person with Conor's mouth makes it harder to accept. I'm not saying that there's no validity, but when you run your mouth a lot, you eliminate some of your excuses. That's just the negative side of having the mouthpiece. Because now all of a sudden you said
that's true.
You were a savage. You was a straight savage before. You don't need nothing. You could do this. I can do that. I can do it all. I'm a savage. I'm immortal. I'm this. I can knock Jesus out. This is all of the stuff he said. Now the dude that can knock Jesus out need to train more and don't want to do promotion. You can't multitask.
So do you think? How do I put this? Do you think he could pull off the card?
Do I think he what?
Do you think he should have been pulled off the main event?
Absolutely. And from a business standpoint, I do think he should have been pulled off, because here's the thing: if I'm running a business, right, and you're my employee, and you try to position yourself in a place of power over me, I gotta show you don't run this company, I do. And you're not bigger than this company. Because essentially what Conor tried to do, and I don't blame him for this, I don't. But essentially what he tried to do was he tried to do a power move. He tried to say, you know what, UFC 200 is your biggest show, I'm your biggest star. If I step out, the whole thing's ruined. You're going to lose buys. And their thing as business owners has to be to prove to him, bruh, it doesn't begin and end with you. There was a UFC before you got here, there's going to be a UFC after you leave. We got to show you where you stand. You're a good fighter, and we love you, and you bring in a lot of money, but you don't run it. So to me, to drive that point home, they had to pull him off the card. Why? If you don't, these type of moments right here are the moment of truth type moments. When somebody pulls your card, the way Conor has pulled the UFC's card, you got to either step up and say, hey, and answer that challenge and check him and bite the bullet for this particular card so that you don't lose control of your organization moving forward. Because if Conor gets his way this time, stars are going to be pulling it like this, like 40 going north, man. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? So next up, it's the next person that's pulling this is John Jones. The next person that's pulling this is Ronda. The next person that's pulling this is this person. The UFC had to dig their feet in the ground and say, no, you're not gonna punk us.
I think in denial, the fighter is bigger than the promotion. That the fighter is the draw, not the promotion anymore. Back when it was stacked cards once every 2 or 3 months, yeah, that was the promotion. Now it's who's the crossover star. You got Ronda, you got Conor, and if he turns heel. If John Jones turns heel, he is the biggest draw in the game because nobody can beat him and he can just laugh in your face. So that's all I see coming out of that camp.
I don't know, man. I understand what you're saying.
Sorry.
You're breaking up a little bit.
You going?
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you, Smalls.
And well, Conor McGregor, what is he gonna do? He's gonna sit out of there. He's not gonna sit out. But in the back of his head, he's probably thinking, "Wow, could I make more money going to Bellator, promoting it, and fighting? Oh, I don't know, Benson Henderson in Ireland? Is that pay-per-view make him more money than fighting Nate at 200?
It probably will, because if I'm Scott Coker, I give Conor part of the company to come. But Bellator is not in the same position of power that the UFC is. The UFC is the WWE, and Bellator is TNA.
But Conor could run it.
I mean, he may be able to, but it would be a bad business move for the future for Bellator to do that, because Conor's gonna only last as long as he's gonna last. Conor's not a timeless athlete. He's not. Conor has to get the getting while the getting is good. There really is no timeless MMA. I've never seen a timeless mixed martial artist yet. Even Royce Gracie is not timeless.
I think John Jones is gonna be it.
Maybe.
Because the length. He's just gonna learn how to adjust.
Yeah, I mean, John has the best way to do it, because the thing of it is John. There's only one more weight class to go up, and if John goes up to that weight class and experiences the same type of success, then yeah, there's nothing else to do but continue to dominate and then walk off as the greatest mixed martial artist that ever lived, which is within his grasp.
Right.
It's totally within his grasp, but I don't know, man. I understand both sides. I understand Conor's side, but I also understand the UFC side saying, "Hey, man, you are an awesome draw, bro, but we're not gonna let you run this whole promotion." And I just find it really, like, here's the question now, though: do you think they're gonna let him back on the card?
Here's the tough thing. The card sucks without GSP. If GSP is not going to come back for this fight, UFC 199 is better than UFC 200. UFC 197 may be better than UFC 200 right now.
Yeah, without Conor.
If you're going to do the vacant title with Aldo Edgar, Peyton Nunes, McGregor dos Anjos, maybe, and you bump Eddie Alvarez. Or you do Jones and Cormier, too, and you put that at 200. And then you're talking. Then you're talking 3 title fights, Kane and Travis Brown. You're talking now.
Well, if you have John Jones, Cormier 2, I don't think you need McGregor Diaz 2. I really don't think you need it. I think mixed martial art fans and enough casuals will come in for that, and there's enough time to promote that.